Please take page number 171. 171. So, in this payment process segment, we have completed section 49, that is various electronic ledgers which are to be maintained by GST network on behalf of every registered person. Now we are going to look into section 50. Section 50 deals with interest on account of delay in payment of tax. So, this interest will arise in two cases. Suppose if a person has to pay tax, but there is a delay in payment of tax, then the interest is payable at 18% per annum. Also, when the ITC has been wrongly availed and utilized, then also interest is payable at 18% per annum. What are the two situations where the interest is payable on account of delay in payment of tax or on account of ITC wrongly availed and utilized? And you can see here, what is the rate of interest? 18% per annum, and it is a simple interest. And what is the period for which we compute the interest? That is important. So you can see that in the next page. In case of delay in payment of tax, the interest is computed from the first date after due date till the actual date of payment of tax. So both days we need to include. For example, what is the due date of payment of tax? If it is for the month of July, the due date will be 20th of August. So interest will be computed from 21st of August till the actual date of payment of tax. Whereas, if it is wrong availment of ITC and utilization of ITC, already we discussed, we need to compute interest from when? From the date of utilization till the date of payment of such tax or reversal of such ITC. So, from the date of utilization till the date of reversal. Whether non-payment of interest invokes any interest? No. So, there is no interest on interest. In GST, there is only interest on tax. There is no interest on interest. Say, for example, I have to pay tax by 20th. I paid on 31st. So, there is a delay by 11 days. For these 11 days, I need to pay interest. But I did not pay interest yet. For non-payment of interest, again will there be interest? No. Then, which ledger balance is used for payment of interest? It is credit ledger or cash ledger? Cash ledger. On what amount interest is computed? There are three situations. Situation 1, you have declared the tax in 3B, however, it is filed after due date. It is filed after due date. So that is, tax is declared in 3B but filed after due date. What does it mean? Say for example, for July month, we have to file 3B by 20th of August. But we filed 3B on 28th August. So there is a delay by 8 days. For this delay by 8 days, we need to pay interest. On what? Is it on the gross liability or on the net liability? It is on the net liability, not on gross liability. So the tax will be paid partly through credit ledger, partly through cash ledger, but interest will be applicable only on tax paid through cash ledger, that is on net liability. For example, you can see the illustration in the next page. So GSTR 3B of July 2020, gross liability is 8 lakhs, ITC is 3 lakhs. Then what is the net liability? 5 lakhs. So that 5 lakhs, the person has deposited in the cash ledger by 20th August. Actually, by when we need to file GSTR 3B? For July, 20th of August. But what happened is that GSTR 3B for all the above months filed on 28th December. So when the GSTR 3B of July should have been filed? 20th of August. But what this person did, he deposited 5 lakhs in the cash ledger but filed 3B on 28th December. So as there is a delay in filing 3B, interest is payable. On what? 8 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs. But sir, he deposited 5 lakhs in the cash ledger. Let it be. But 3B is not filed on time. So therefore, interest is payable for the delay in filing 3B. Now, what is the period of delay in filing 3B? From 20th August you count. In August, please take your calculator. In August, it is 11 days. and in September 30 days, October 31 days, November 30 days, and December 28 they are filing 3B. So therefore, how many days delay? 130 days delay. For that 130 days, interest will be computed on 5 lakhs. So please calculate 5 lakhs into 18% into 130 divided by 365. That will be taken as the interest. So 32,055. You understood, Appa? Same way, for August month, 3B, they should have filed by 20th September. But they filed on 28th December. So we need to count interest from 21st September. So September 10 days, October 31 days, November 30 days, and December 28 days. For that period, we need to compute interest on what? Net liability. What is a net liability? 4 lakhs minus 1 lakh, that is 3 lakhs. Again for September, we need to compute interest on net liability, that is 6 lakhs minus 4 lakhs. September month needs to be paid by 20th October. So for the delay, that is from 21st October till 28th December. Is it clear? So whenever we are filing GSTR 3B late, interest is payable on net liability from the first date after due date till the actual date of payment. Understood? Then next, suppose I have filed 3B on time. See the next situation. I filed 3B on time, but I did not pay the tax of that month. But I paid the tax of that month in a subsequent month 3B, partly by cash ledger, partly by credit ledger. Example, July month, I have to pay 25,000, but I did not pay in July month. I filed 3B of July month. Now, this 25,000 I am paying in November. But 25,000 when I am paying in November, I am not paying fully through cash. That 25,000 I will pay partly through cash ledger and credit ledger. Now, this 25,000 pertains to which month? July month. But which is paid in which month? November month. Now, interest is payable? Yes. Now, interest is computed on 25,000 or 25,000 paid through cash ledger. That is 25,000. Say 15,000 paid through credit ledger, 10,000 paid through cash ledger. Whether interest is computed on 10,000 or entire 25,000? Entire 25,000. See that. That is gross liability. When tax is paid subsequent to payment of self-assessed tax in 3B. So we filed 3B and thereafter we paid the tax pertaining to that month. It can be paid through credit ledger as well as cash ledger. But interest is applicable only on the amount payable through credit and cash ledger, that is on gross liability. So we will see one question. So this, mark it as very important question. It's an RTP question, pa. PQR Limited have filed their GSTR 3B return for the month of August 2022 within the due date, that is 20th September they filed. It was noticed that in October 2022 the tax dues for the month of August has been short paid by 10,000. Actually this 10,000 pertains to which month, pa? August. But when they noticed it? October. So this 10,000 they are paying in October 7,500 through cash ledger and 2,500 through credit ledger. It is paid on 20th November. Now, interest is payable on entire 10,000 or that money amount which is paid through cash ledger, full 10,000. Full 10,000 we need to, because the 10,000 pertains to August and we did not pay in August. We paid at a later point of time. Now interest is applicable on entire 10,000 rupees. So 10,000 rupees we need to compute interest from when? Actually 10,000 pertain to which period? August. For August, what is the due date? 20th of September. So we need to count from 21st September till when it is paid? 20th of November. You count 20th of September to 20th of November. September 10 days. October 31 days, November 20 days, that is 61 days. For these 61 days, we need to compute interest on what? 10,000 rupees at what rate? 18%. So 10,000 into 18% into 61 by 365. 301, rounded off to nearest 1 rupee. Suppose, what would be your answer if GSTR 3B for the month of August is filed late, and is filed on 20th November. Then only on net liability. What is a net liability? 7,500. Is it clear or not? Suppose if 10,000 rupees is the liability of August and we filed GSTR 3B late in November, now we don't have to pay interest on entire 10,000. We need to pay interest on only that amount which is paid through cash ledger. That is net liability, because this is delay in filing 3B. For delay in filing 3B, interest is computed on net liability. Otherwise, normally delay in payment of tax, interest is computed on gross liability. Understood or not? So therefore, now in the second case, as there is a delay in filing 3B, interest is computed only on 7,500 but not on entire 10,000. Understood, appa? Then third situation in interest is ITC wrongly availed and utilized for payment of liability. Now we need to compute interest on wrongly availed ITC or wrongly utilized ITC. Wrongly utilized ITC. How to find how much ITC we have utilized? Please concentrate, a very, very important area. How to find out how much ITC we have utilized in that month where the balance in ITC falls below the wrongly availed ITC. In that month we have utilized the ITC. Example pa, you can see this illustration 6. Mukund traders registered in Gujarat have opted to file returns on a monthly basis, and for all the months they filed 3B on 18th of the month following every month. For the month of October, so every month they are filing 3B by when? Please concentrate, listen, don't talk, listen. Very, very important, because this is an amendment. Definitely May 23 exam, you can expect a question on this. So concentrate, please. Mukund traders registered in Gujarat have opted to file returns on a monthly basis. And for all the months, they have to file 3B by 18th of the month. So what is the time limit by which they file 3B? Usually 18th of the month following every month. For the month of October 2022, they have wrongly availed 1,50,000. So when they availed October 2022 and reversed the same in January 2023. But we don't have to compute interest from the date of availment till the date of reversal, but we need to compute interest from the date of utilization. Their tax consultant is of the view that interest is not payable on account of Finance Act 2022 amendment. You are required to compute the interest payable, if any, based on the following information. So here they gave the data from September to January. First you look into September month. September month there is an opening balance of 3 lakhs and ITC availed is 2 lakhs and utilized for payment of liability 4 lakhs. So closing balance is 1 lakh. Now for October opening balance is 1 lakh and they availed 5 lakhs. In this 5 lakhs the wrongly availed ITC of 1,50,000 is also there. Got it? In this 5 lakhs the wrongly availed ITC of 1,50,000 is also there and they utilized 3 lakhs. Okay. Now what is the balance in ITC? 3 lakhs. Whether the balance in ITC falls below wrongly availed ITC? No. The balance in ITC is not falling below 1,50,000. What is the wrongly availed ITC? 1,50,000. What is the balance in ITC? 3 lakhs. So balance in ITC falls below 1,50,000? No. Which means we have not utilized this ITC for October month. Again, November month. November month, opening balance 3 lakhs, availed 2 lakhs, utilized 4 lakhs, closing balance 1 lakh. Now, whether the balance in ITC falls below wrongly availed ITC? Yes. So therefore, we utilize 1,50,000 in November. To what extent we have utilized? To the extent of 50,000. How can you identify? Whichever month the balance in ITC falls below the wrongly availed ITC, to that extent, so we have utilized in that month. Okay. So therefore, 1,50,000 wrongly availed ITC. The balance in ITC for November came down to 1 lakh. which means we have utilized 50,000 in November month. Understood or not? Then again, December month, opening balance 1 lakh, avail 2 lakh 50, utilize 1 lakh 50. Now closing balance 2 lakhs. Whether the wrongly availed ITC now 1 lakh is utilized in the month of December? No, because the balance in ITC in December is more than 1 lakh, means we did not utilize. Now why are we talking about 1 lakh? Because already 50,000 is utilized in November. Understood? So now 1 lakh is not utilized in December. Okay. January, what they are doing, opening balance 2 lakhs, 1 lakh availed ITC, and 3 lakhs they reversed. In that 3 lakh, 1 lakh 50 is there. So which means without utilizing, the 1 lakh ITC is reversed. You understood or not? Which means how much ITC is utilized out of this wrongly availed ITC? Only 50,000. Means interest is computed only on 50,000. Understood? Why we don't have to compute interest on entire 1 lakh 50? Because entire 1 lakh 50 we did not use. How do we know that we did not use 1 lakh 50? Because the balance in ITC in every month is not falling below 1 lakh. So it is below 1 lakh 50, but 1 lakh is there, which means we utilized only 50. Suppose in December month, the balance is 50,000. Then what we have done? November we utilized 50, December we utilized 50, like that. For December month, if it is 75,000, for November month we utilized 50, and December month we utilized 25,000. You understood or not? So if the balance in ITC falls below the wrongly availed ITC, to that extent we have utilized the ITC. So in this question, we utilized how much ITC? 50,000. Which month we utilized ITC 50,000? November month. So what is the date of utilization where we will utilize? In GSTR 3B. For November month, when the 3B is filed, in the question it is given 18th of the month following every month. So for November month, when the 3B has been filed, 18th of December. Okay, 18th of December. Then again, when are they reversing it? January. Where they will reverse? 3B. So therefore for January, when they will be filing 3B? 18th of February. So therefore we need to compute interest from 18 December to 18 February. So now don't count 18 December. Count the next date. So what is that? In 31 minus 18. 31 minus 18. How many days? 31 minus 18. 13 days in December. Plus January 31 days, February 18 days. So total 62 days. So therefore for the 62 days, we need to compute interest on what? Only on 50,000 rupees. 50,000 into 18% into 62 by 365, 1,529. Only on the utilized ITC we need to take. So first we need to write, as per section 50 subsection 3, interest is payable on the wrongly availment and utilization. ITC shall be considered to be wrongly utilized when the balance in ITC falls below 1 lakh 50. Therefore, in the present case, the balance in ITC 1 lakh 50 has fallen below 1 lakh in November. So we have utilized 50,000. So on that 50,000, interest is computed. Understood? So we completed 3 interest. That is interest on account of delay in filing 3B. Interest is computed on net liability. Then interest on account of tax paid late. So already 3B filed, but tax paid late. Then interest is on total amount, gross liability. Then next, interest on wrongly availed and utilized, only on utilized ITC from the date of utilization till the date of reversal. But what we learnt, important point is, what is the meaning of utilization? So this point, utilization, so can be tested in exam. That illustration, last illustration we discussed now, that you mark as very, very important. Illustration 6. Now we are moving on to the last area, segment 11, returns under GST. And after returns, still one small topic is there, that is GST practitioner. With the GST is over, our portion is over, concentrate. Returns, there are various returns to be filed by a registered person. So there is something called as first return, which is to be filed immediately after registration, and a final return immediately after cancellation of registration. So as and when we get registration, we need to file first return. As and when we cancel registration, we need to file final return. So this first return, when we are filing, it will contain not only the details of the month for which we are filing the return, but also the period prior to that month, that is after the date I am liable to get registered. For example, I am liable to get registered on 10th March and I got registration certificate on 5th April. Now I will file my first return for April. Now in that April month when I am filing return, I should not only include the returns details of April month, but also the details from 10th of March, from the date I am liable to get registered. Please read there. So when registration is granted after the date when a person becomes liable, the date from which he or she liable for registration till the date of registration, they need to include the details. Then final return. The final return is in GSTR 10, and that final return needs to be filed within a time limit that already we discussed while discussing registration. What is the time limit by which we need to file final return? 3 months from the date of cancellation. Means whenever our registration is cancelled, from the date or order of cancellation, whichever is later, not whichever is earlier, please remember it, whichever is later. So can you tell me the time limit of final return? 3 months from the date of cancellation or date of order of cancellation, whichever is later. Now, during the life of registration, so under regular scheme and composition scheme, we will be filing returns. First, we will see composition scheme, already we completed. What is the return to be filed by a person opting for composition scheme? CMP 8. And that CMP 8 is on a quarterly basis by 18th of the month following every quarter. Plus, a person opting for composition scheme will file an annual return in GSTR 4. GSTR 4. By 30th April of the succeeding financial year, whereas normal scheme person will be filing 2 returns, GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. GSTR 1 again monthly, quarterly we have. GSTR 1 monthly time limit is what? 11th of the month following every month, whereas quarterly GSTR 1 is also possible, that is 13th of the month following every quarter. So GSTR 1 time limit is what, ma? Monthly means 11th of the month following every month. Quarterly means 13th of the month following every quarter. Whereas in case of GSTR 3B, monthly is 20th of the month following every month. That already we discussed many places. So GSTR 3B monthly due date is 20th of the month following every month. But quarterly we have 22nd or 24th of the month following every quarter. And which cases it is 22nd and which cases it is 24th. Easily you can remember, pa. Remember GMCA, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chandigarh and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chandigarh, Andhra Pradesh, and states below that. And states below that, like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu, Kerala, South. So it will be 22nd. And North, that is Orissa, Northeastern state, Jammu and Kashmir, and Uttar Pradesh, etc. and all, it will be 24th. Okay, clear, pa? So therefore, South it is 22nd, North it is 24th of the month following every quarter. Okay. Then next, annual return needs to be filed. So what is the format of all annual return? Form of annual return, GSTR 9. And who is required to file the GSTR 9 annual return? Whose aggregate turnover in a financial year exceeds 2 crores. And what is the time limit by which annual return needs to be filed? 31st December of the succeeding financial year. Then, who are not required to file annual return? You can easily remember, that can be asked as a short note. Remember, tonic, T for TDS deductor. because TCS deductor also will be filing annual return. TDS deductor. O, OIDR supplier. N, NRTP, because their registration is not for a year also. Then I, input service distributor. C, casual taxable person. These 5 people are not required to file annual return. So what is a T, TDS deductor. O, OIDR supplier. N, NRTP. I, ISD, input service distributor. C, casual taxable person. Then other returns. So GSTR 5. Already we discussed GSTR 1, GSTR 3B, etc. GSTR 5 is a return which will be filed by NRTP. And now there is an amendment in this place. Previously it was 20th of the month following every month or 7 days from expiry of registration, whichever is earlier. Now they changed it to 13th of the month following every month or 7 days from expiry of registration, whichever is earlier. Understood? So what is the time limit of NRTP return? GSTR 5. For example, registration is granted up to 2nd of October, 2nd of October from August. So they have to file returns for August, September, October. For August, 13th of September or 7 days from expiry of registration, whichever is earlier, definitely 13th of September. For September, 13th of October or 7 days from expiry of registration. 2nd October, 7 days is what? 9th October, whichever is earlier. You understood? So 9th October will be earlier. So therefore, it is 13th of the month following every month or 7 days from expiry of registration, whichever is earlier. GSTR 5A is a return to be filed by OIDR supplier located outside India. And that return will be like a 3B return. That is 20th of the month following every month. Then input service distributor is required to file a return, that is GSTR 6. And that is to be filed by 13th of the month following every month. And tax deductor and tax collector, TDS and TCS. This TDS and TCS return should be filed in GSTR 7 and GSTR 8 by 10th of the month following every month. See, these and all will be for MCQ. Like they will give, what is the return to be filed by a TDS deductor? GSTR 7 by 10th of the month following every month. GSTR 8 by 10th of the month following every month. GSTR 7 by 20th of the month following every month. GSTR 8 by 20th of the month following every month, like that they will give. So first return we need to know. What is it return? GSTR 7. What is the time limit? 10th of the month following every month. Direct MCQs only. Okay. Then next, unique identification number holder, UIN holder is required to file GSTR 11 as and when they go for refund application. So because they will get refund now, for that purpose they need to file GSTR 11. These are the various returns that we have. Then some similar time limits we have discussed already. So it is again a repetition. What are the 5 time limits? Time limit for availment of ITC, time limit for issuance of credit note, time limit for rectification of GSTR 1, GSTR 3B and GSTR 8, that is TCS, e-commerce operator return. So all these 5 cases, what is the time limit? 30th November of next financial year or date of filing and return, whichever is earlier. And now can 3B return also be rectified? Yes, both GSTR 1 and 3B can be rectified. Can we file a revised return? In income tax only we have the concept of revised return. But in GST we don't have revised return. It is only rectification of return. Then how invoices will be entered in GSTR 1? Whether it is invoice wise or consolidated. First, invoices will be divided into 2. That is B2B invoices or B2C invoices. If it is B2B invoices, means what? Supply to registered person. Always we need to give invoice wise. B2B invoices in GSTR 1 should always be invoice wise. Even if it is 20 rupees invoice also, separately we need to show. But in case of B2C invoices, again divide into 2. Interstate and intrastate. Intrastate means within the state, we can do consolidation. But interstate, if you see the value of invoice more than 2,50,000, then it should be shown invoice wise. If the value of invoice does not exceed 2,50,000, that number remember, 2,50,000 per invoice, then we will consolidate it state-wise. Okay. So what is that? First, we need to divide that into two. B2B, B2C. B2B, always invoice-wise. B2C intrastate, always consolidation. B2C interstate, value of invoice exceeds 2,50,000 per invoice. Then invoice-wise, does not exceed 2,50,000 per invoice. State-wise consolidation, not normal consolidation, state-wise. Consolidation means what? We will total everything and we will enter. That is the meaning of consolidation. And this section 38 about 2B already we discussed. Then look into the next area, section 47, late fee for delay in filing return. So this late fee also can be tested in MCQ. First, for GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, the late fee is, if it is nil return, 10 rupees per day subject to maximum 250 rupees. For example, 30 days delay pa. 30 days into 10 rupees is what? 300. But maximum how much? 250 rupees only. And this is under CGST Act. Now the same late fee will be payable under SGST Act. Now concentrate. In MCQ if you get compute late fee, then you need to compute as per both CGST Act and SGST Act and check the answer in the option. Suppose if they give compute late fee under CGST Act, means you need to compute only as per CGST Act. For example, delay 30 days. They will give option A 300, option B 600, option C 250, option D so 500 they will give. You understood or not? And their question is compute late fee. Now what is the correct answer? 500, not 250. Not 250, 500, because late fee, but they did not specify which act. Means we need to do as per both CGST and SGST Act. Suppose if it is late fee as per CGST Act, which is the correct option? 250. Only CGST component we need to compute. Understood? Now, for GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, what is the late fee? Nil return means 10 rupees per day subject to maximum 250. If it is other than nil return, 25 rupees per day subject to maximum, so differs, that maximum amount differs. If my aggregate turnover during previous year exceeds 5 crores, maximum will be 5,000. If my aggregate turnover during previous year does not exceed 5 but exceeds 1.5, so then it will be half, 2,500. If my aggregate turnover during previous year does not exceed 1.5 crores, then it will be 1,000. You understood? Half of that, 2,500, half is what? 1,250, rounded off to 1,000. You understood or not? So, what is the late fee, maximum late fee pa? Previous year aggregate turnover exceeds 5 crores? 5,000. Does not exceed 1.5 but does not exceed 5. 2,500. Does not exceed 1.5 crores. 1,000. Okay. That is the maximum late fee. Then, in case of GSTR 5, 5A and 6. 5 is NRTP. 5A OIDR, 6 is ISD. Nil return other than nil return, per day late fee same. 10 rupees per day, 25 rupees per day. But maximum is always 5,000 here. You understood? 10 rupees per day, 25 rupees per day, common pa. Already we discussed. But maximum alone always it will be 5,000. Then GSTR 7 and GSTR 8, there is a difference. GSTR 7 is lesser late fee. 25 rupees per day subject to maximum 1,000. But GSTR 8 is 100 rupees per day subject to maximum 5,000. You understood? So this difference you please remember, because in exam when they give GSTR 8, we end up writing the late fee of GSTR 7. Okay, don't make that mistake. Then GSTR 4 is an annual return to be filed by a person opting for composition scheme. For a person opting for composition scheme, who can opt for composition scheme? Their aggregate turnover does not exceed 1.5 crores. So therefore this provision we need to remember. So what is that? Nil return, 10 rupees per day subject to maximum 250, and other than nil return 25 rupees per day subject to maximum 1,000. Why? Because turnover during previous year does not exceed 1.5 crores. Now the same late fee only we have for GSTR 4. Understood? Then next, GSTR 9 and 9C, annual return. It is simple, 100 rupees per day subject to maximum 0.25% of turnover. Means the same amount we need to pay under SGST. So 0.25% CGST, 0.25% SGST. Understood? Now, this table you have to revise one day before exam. So, because we will forget these numbers. So that one day before exam or on the exam day, so just mark this page. You need to revise this and go, because one mark also it is useful, na? So therefore, for that reason, so directly they will ask this question. There we need to know, not scratch our head or ask the person sitting next to us, what is the late fee, like that and all. Because if you think on your own itself, you would have arrived at the correct answer. Don't ask any person sitting front of you, next to you and all. They will confuse you, and you yourself can think and you will get the correct answer many times. Okay. Then filing nil return through SMS. What are the 3 returns that can be filed through SMS? Already I told you. GSTR1, GSTR 3B and CMP 8. These are the 3 returns. If it is nil returns, nil return means what? All the entries in the return should be nil. Everything should be nil. Then we can file this return through SMS. Then the last area that we have in returns chapter is QRMP. Quarterly return, monthly payment scheme. And why this QRMP has been created, I am actually clueless, because quarterly return, monthly payment of tax. Now they are telling GSTR1 will be filed quarterly. If GSTR1 is filed quarterly, my recipient will take ITC quarterly or monthly? Quarterly. How he will take? Because if I file GSTR1 quarterly, the to be information will be quarterly. My recipient will take on a quarterly basis. Now my recipient will keep quiet. He will come and ask me, you go for quarterly or you die also, I am not bothered. I want my ITC. Correct or not? So therefore, how can I give the ITC to him on a monthly basis? So they are telling, you can file invoice furnishing facility. That invoice furnishing facility you file by 13th of the month following every month. Apana director GSTR1 itself I would have filed, na? Why I should file invoice furnishing facility? Then again on a quarterly basis I need to file GSTR1. Of course, invoice furnishing facility is optional only, but I am under a compulsion when my recipient wanted the ITC on a monthly basis. Understood or not? Sorry, okay. GSTR 3B is on a quarterly basis, but you have to pay tax on a monthly basis. So fine. What should I do then? So you compute the tax and pay. How can I compute the tax? We will give you 2 methods. Method number 1, self-assessment method. You calculate how much is your liability, you pay. If I could do that, I will file 3B itself monthly. If I can calculate how much is my liability on a monthly basis, I will file 3B itself, not monthly. Why I will go for quarterly 3B? Okay, any other method? Another method is there. Fixed sum method. What is that fixed sum method? You take previous 3B, some liability you would have paid. Out of that, 35% you pay. What is this 35% logic? Simple. That 3B is for 3 months. Divided by 3. 33.33. Rounded off. 35. You pay 35%. Sorry, sir. I will pay 35%. Now, again 3B, anyhow I have to pay. So I will go for self-assessment method. In a 35% and all I cannot pay. I will pay some amount. But if you pay amount under self-assessment method, and if your actual liability is more than that, on the difference amount you need to pay interest. GST financial company. You understood? So therefore interest you have to pay. And sir, then suppose if I go for self-assessment method, then also my liability, if I go for fixed sum method, then also my liability is more than, so the whatever I have paid. Yes. At that time, should I pay interest on difference? No. Why? Because you follow whatever method we are telling. You understood? If you listen to me, no need to pay interest. If you do on your own, you have to pay interest. So, this system finally, it's like people did not understand why QRMP came. So everyone is going for monthly itself. Okay. See, QRMP is beneficial when you know QRQP. Then only it will be beneficial. What is it? QRQP, quarterly return, quarterly payment. Then only it is beneficial. But you know, one system has been created, and for that finance ministry is telling it is my amazing creation, like that. What creation it is? Okay. So it is like dad's little princess going into kitchen and making one strawberry noodles, like that it is. So this is. So GSTR1 on record, but we will edit it. Anyhow, it is in our control only, no issue. Okay. GSTR1 is on a quarterly basis by 13th of the month following every quarter. So what is a GSTR1 quarterly filing pa? 13th of the month following every quarter. Then 3B, when we need to file 22nd or 24th of the month following every quarter. Okay. Then tax has to be paid on a monthly basis. By when? 25th of the month following every month for the first and second month. Why not for the third month? Anyhow, for all 3 months together, we file 3B on 22nd or 24th. First month, for example, April to June quarter pa. April, you pay by 25th May. May, you pay by 25th June. What about June? Anyhow, for April, May, June, you file a GSTR 3B by 22nd July or 24th July. At the time, you pay the liability. So, payment through PMT6, that is Challan, PMT6 Challan, under either fixed sum method or self-assessment method by 25th of the next month for 2 months in a quarter. And first of all, to whom this QRMP scheme is applicable? If their aggregate turnover in the previous year does not exceed 5 crores. So, previous year, if my aggregate turnover does not exceed 5 crores, I can go for QRMP. And I should also ensure that during the current year, in any quarter, my aggregate turnover is not exceeding 5 crores. For example, April to June, 3 crores. July to September, 3 crores. 3 plus 3, it crossed 5. So, next quarter onwards, I will not be able to go for QRMP. I have to file monthly. Then it should be and, na, sir. See, actually, this R should be read as and. But in law, they did not give it as and. But literally, it is 2 separate conditions. So, that is, aggregate turnover during previous year should not exceed 5 crores, and I should also ensure that during the current year my aggregate turnover does not exceed 5 crores. Then B2B invoices may be furnished on a monthly basis. So in which facility? Invoice furnishing facility. Suppose, and is it optional or mandatory? Optional. Suppose if I add this B2B invoices in IFF, it will be reflected in 2A or 2B of the recipient. Then this QRMP is not like composition scheme, all in, all out, which means QRMP, for example, I have 4 registrations, few registrations quarterly return, few registrations monthly return. Can I do that? Yes. QRMP scheme is GSTIN wise, and distinct person have the option to avail the scheme for 1 or more GSTIN. Then see the next one. Time frame to opt in. When should I opt in into QRMP? For example, first quarter, if you want to opt, 1st February 2021 to 30th April 2021. Same way, July to September, 1st May to 31st July. How to remember this? Easy. A for after, B for before. Alphabet A is 1, alphabet B is 2. So 1 month after, 2 months before. Okay, pa. 1 month after commencement of quarter. What is the commencement of quarter? April. So 1 month after means 30th April. And 2 months before means 1st February. You understood? Same way here. July. 1 month after means July end. And 2 months before means 1st May. Got it? A for after, B for before, C for commencement of quarter. So 1 month after commencement of quarter, 2 months before commencement of quarter. Okay, yeah? Then condition for opt-in. If I am going into QRMP, all my monthly returns should have been filed. So which means all the returns which are pending under monthly scheme should be filed. Then only I should go for QRMP. And GSTR1 are availing IFF. The scheme provides for IFF for first 2 months. Why first 2 months? Why not third month? Anyhow, for all 3 months we will file GSTR1. And this is optional. Suppose if we enter the details of invoices in IFF, then auto-populated in GSTR1. Again, at the time when I am filing GSTR1, no need to enter. Suppose if I am not filing the invoices in IFF, then all 3 months invoices I need to enter in GSTR1. But one point is there here. We can add the invoices of value not more than 50 lakhs in each month. Means monthly, to what extent I can add the invoices? 50 lakhs worth of invoices. Beyond 50 lakhs, not possible. I don't know why. Really, I don't know why. Because if we can add the invoices, what's your problem in adding invoices? Why 50 lakhs? Just because they want to do something, they gave. Okay. Why 50 lakhs? No reasoning for that. Then, maybe somewhere they would have copied this scheme. Along with that, this 50 lakhs point also would have been copied. So, on non-opting of this facility, details of outward supply to be made in GSTR1 quarterly. Then, we have 2 options for payment of tax. What are the 2 options? Fixed sum method and self-assessment method. Fixed sum method, we need to take GSTR 3B of previous quarter. And into 35%, we need to pay for first and second month. What if previous 3B is monthly 3B? Then entire liability of that month you pay this month. Okay. So net liability or gross liability or net liability. So quarterly filing of 3B of previous quarter, 35% of tax liability in cash paid in the preceding quarter. Suppose monthly filing of 3B of previous quarter, 100% of tax liability in cash paid in the last month of the preceding quarter. Understood? Then, if it is self-assessment method, you need to actually compute how much is your tax liability and that much you need to discharge. Any change in the manner of filing 3B? No. Regular. How we file 3B? The same way. Compulsory opt-out. When you will compulsory opt-out? In any quarter if your aggregate turnover exceeds 5 crores. Levy of late fee. Yes. Even in QRMP, if there is any delay in filing GSTR1, GSTR3B, there is late fee. But for IFF, there is no late fee. Because first of all, IFF is not a mandatory document. Now, interest computation under QRMP. So, this interest computation under QRMP, please listen. I have given 2 simple illustrations to understand this. So, look into this first illustration, which is in page number 187. April to June, I am in QRMP. Okay. And at that time, I filed a 3B with a net liability 1,50,000. Now, for July to September also, I am going for QRMP. July to September. So, for July and August, how much I need to pay under fixed sum method? 35% of 1,50,000. What is 35% of 1,50,000? 52,500, 52,500 I paid. But the actual liability is 60,000 and 70,000. So, actual is more than what I have paid under fixed sum method. Now, there is a difference. What is the difference? 7,500. And here there is a difference. 17,500. If I pay this by 22nd October, due date of GSTR 3B, I don't have to pay any interest on difference. Understood, pa? Suppose if it is under self-assessment method, April to June I am under QRMP and GSTR 3B net liability is 2 lakhs, but 2 lakhs into 35% is what? 2 lakhs into 35%. 70,000. But I did not pay 70,000. I paid under self-assessment method 52,500, 52,500. But the actual liability is 60,000, 70,000. Now, there is a difference. On this difference, should I pay interest? Yes. Even if I am paying this difference by 22nd October, I have to pay interest on the difference. Is it clear, pa? So what is the difference between interest under fixed sum method and self-assessment method? If there is any difference from actual liability and the liability paid in that month, in case of self-assessment method, we need to pay interest on the difference from 26th of the month following every month till the date of payment. Why? Because July month when you should have paid by 25th of August. August month when you should have paid by 25th of September. So from the first date after due date till the actual date of payment, we need to compute the interest in case of self-assessment method. Suppose if it is fixed sum method, on the difference, we don't have to pay interest if the difference is paid by due date of GSTR 3B, that is 22nd October. Got it? So this is the difference, and this only theoretically I have given here. Interest on non-payment or short payment if it is fixed sum method. First, if the tax liability net of credit was higher than the amount paid in the challan for first 2 months, means actual liability is more than amount that you paid under fixed sum method. So whether interest is payable or not payable? Not payable if it is paid by due date, GSTR 3B due date. Suppose if it is not paid by GSTR 3B due date, that is in this case, if this 7,500, 17,500 and this 80,000 is not paid by GSTR 3B due date, then we need to calculate interest. From when? 23rd October till the actual date of payment. Okay. Otherwise, interest at 18% per annum would be applicable from the due date of 3B till the date of making the payment. Then, in case such payment of tax by depositing the system calculated amount is not made within due date, that is, this 52,500 we should pay by when? 52,500 fixed sum method we should pay by when? 25th of August. And this 52,500 we should pay by when? If you are not paying by 25th of August and 25th of September, then for the delay also you need to pay interest at 18%. Got it? That is this. Then if it is self-assessment method, what is the extra point? Suppose if the actual liability is more than what you have paid, then interest is payable on the difference. Actual minus tax. From when? From 26th of the next month till the date of payment of differential tax. For example, self-assessment method 52,500, actual 60, difference 7,500. On the 7,500 you need to compute interest from when? 26th August, because July month you have to pay by 25th August. So from 26th August till the actual date of payment you need to compute interest. Same way under August, difference 17,500, you need to compute interest from when? So 26th of September till the date of payment. That is this. So we completed QRMP, and this dates already I told you. Gujarat, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh and Andhra Pradesh, GMCA, and states below it will be 22nd, that is all south states, and north states it will be 24th. Now look into these illustrations on interest computation under QRMP. A registered person who has opted for the scheme has paid a total amount of 1 lakh in cash as tax liability in the previous quarter of October to December. He opts to pay tax under fixed sum method. Which method? Fixed sum method. What was the liability for the previous quarter? 1 lakh. 1 lakh into 35%, 35,000. So he pays 35,000 each on 25th February and 25th March for discharging the tax liability for first 2 months of the quarter. So by 25th he paid. In his return for the quarter, it is found that the liability based on the outward and inward for January was 40. What is the actual liability? 40. But how much he paid? So difference 5,000. On that 5,000, whether he need to pay any interest? Why? Fixed sum method. Okay. Suppose if actual is 30,000. Actual 30, he paid 35. Will he get interest? No. Definitely no. Okay. Definitely no. So, and for February, actual was 42 and he paid 35. 42 minus 35, 7,000. Whether any interest is payable on 7,000? No. But when that 5,000 and 7,000 should be paid by the due date of 3B. So if 5,000 and 7,000 is discharged in these 2 months by 3B date, then we don't have to pay interest. Then second illustration. A registered person who has opted for the scheme has paid an amount of 1 lakh in cash for the previous quarter and he opts for fixed sum method. He therefore pays 35,000 each on 25th February and 25th March and the actual liability is 1,25,000. Now he paid it on 30th April. What is the due date? For January to March, what is the due date? 22nd of April. But he paid on which date? 30th April. Now whether he need to pay interest? Yes. For how many days? 8 days. Why 8 days? 22nd April was the due date, but he paid on 30th April. So 8 days, interest is computed on what? So 1,55,000 is the 1,25,000 is the total liability. How much already he paid? 70,000. Difference is what? 55,000. Why we are computing even though under fixed sum method? Because it is not on the difference that we computed. So they are paying it late beyond the due date of 3B. For that 8 days only we are computing this interest. So 55,000 into 18% into 8 by 365. Then last illustration. A registered person has opted for the scheme, has paid a total amount of 1 lakh in cash as tax liability in the previous quarter of October to December. He opts to pay tax under self-assessment method. He therefore pays 40,000 each for 25th February and 25th March. In his return for the quarter filed on due date, that is 22nd April, it is found that liability based on outward and inward supply for January was 40,000 and February 46,000. How much is the actual liability for Jan? How much he paid? So no interest. What is the actual liability for February? 46. How much he paid? So on 6,000 rupees he need to pay interest from 26th of March till the date of payment. Say he paid on 22nd April. Means how many days delay? In March 6 days, April 22 days. So for 28 days he need to pay interest on how much? 6,000. 6,000 into 18% into 28 by 365. Even though it is filed on GSTR 3B due date, but then also he is paying interest because this is which method? Self-assessment method. Understood? So that's it about returns. Then in miscellaneous topics we have 2 topics, that is GST practitioner and e-waybill. E-waybill already we completed. This GST practitioner till date 1 question also not asked on that. And suppose if at all a question is asked, they will ask what are the roles and responsibilities of a GST practitioner? Means what activities a GST practitioner can do. They can apply for registration. Like all article students, whatever work they can do, those work GST practitioners will do. That is after qualifying CA intermediate, you will work as a bonded labor in the firms. So there you will be doing certain works. Those works only GST practitioner can do. Means GST practitioner is like a competition to you. Okay. So they can apply for registration. They can file the returns. Okay. Then they can make payment of tax. Payment of tax is rocket science, you know. So they can pay tax. And they can act as an authorized representative. That is what they can represent the taxpayer before the department. Okay. So, but first they should get respect from the department for that. Then they will furnish the details for generation of e-waybill. Means they will do data entry. They will enter the details of goods sent on job work and received from job work. And they will file an application for amendment or cancellation of unique enrollment number. These are the activities that can be done by a GST practitioner. What? Apply for registration, file returns, pay taxes, act as authorized representative, generate e-waybill, enter details of goods sent and received from job work, and application and amendment or for unique enrollment number. Okay, these activities only they can do. And for that, what is the eligibility criteria? This has been asked in July 21 for 5 marks. That is, they should be citizen of India, because foreign citizen don't have any other work, no. So, only citizen of India can become in GST practitioner. Person of sound mind, for what? For doing these activities, they should have sound mind. Then, not adjudged as insolvent. Director disqualification it is, okay. So that they have kept here. Not convicted by a court for imprisonment not less than 2 years. Means 2 years if you go for jail, okay? Okay. More than 2 years he should not go for jail. You understood or not? He should not be imprisoned for more than 2 years. Suppose if it is less than 2 years, say he killed one person, he went to jail, 2 years imprisonment, he can come, don't worry, he can become a GST practitioner. Good career he is having, you understand? So, then these are the 4 conditions. In addition, he should satisfy any of the following conditions. Means educational qualification. Graduate or postgraduate, BCom or MCom, UG or PG, or its equivalent examination having a degree in commerce, law, banking, including higher auditing, okay. Degree examination of any foreign university, so degree examination of foreign university, any other examination. But these 3 points are irrelevant because it is already covered under 4th point, any degree examination. Okay. Sir, can an engineer become GST practitioner? Engineer is becoming many things, So they are actually doing Swiggy delivery, Flipkart delivery and all. They can become GST practitioner, no problem at all. Any degree examination of Indian university or foreign university. You can go to Harvard, like Rahul Gandhi, you can study there, come back to India and become GST practitioner. Okay. Then, and one more stupid point you see, you clear CA, CM, CS and become GST practitioner. Okay. For what? For these 8 activities. Okay. Then, okay sir, this much qualifications we are prescribing, and who is responsible for the correctness of the return filed by them? They file return now. Who is responsible? Who should be responsible? GST practitioner. And a GST practitioner is not responsible. Registered person is only responsible. Okay. Then what? If GST practitioner is filing any returns, that should be made available to the registered person. Registered person should go through, verify, and he should say everything is correct. Then GST practitioner will file. The podalanga adennamo ivane file panniruppaale. So he himself can file if he can tell that is correct or not. When a registered person opts to furnish his return through GSTP, such registered person gives his consent. Yes, file in prescribed form to any GST return preparer before confirming any statement. So that person should ensure that the facts mentioned in the return are true and correct. The responsibility for correctness of any particulars furnished in the return shall continue to rest with the registered person on whose behalf such returns is filed. Okay. So responsibility is on registered person only. So with this, we completed fully GST part. So in this appendix A, I have given the summary of all provisions. That is all the sections that we have discussed. It is like a quick summary, section wise summary I gave. Okay. So therefore, if you want to quickly complete the revision and all, you can read these few pages, last few pages, so that contains the section wise summary. Okay. And then in practice manual, for 3 chapters, I did not do question and answers. That is invoice and time of supply, returns, payment process. So what we have is direct questions only, all theory type questions only. And then one more area is there in practice manual, that is consolidated questions, appendix A. So in practice manual, you can see page number 2 and 3 onwards. So in the page number 2 and 3 onwards, we have some consolidation questions. That consolidated questions plus case study, integrated case study questions, I will record and upload in YouTube. Okay. So, but you try, practice it once, but don't worry, I will upload it by April 10th, before April 10th itself, I will be uploading this and you can see it in my channel. Okay. So, thank you all. Thank you and take care. All the very best for your exams.